And now recording. We are now recording. All right.
Alrighty then. So I'm going to call this meeting to order at 5:19 p.m. Secretary Reed, can you please call the roll?
Yes. Nathan Scott.
Here.
Ariana Reed.
Here.
Jashira Bolden. Connor Peters.
Here.
Sean Peters.
Here.
Connor Busick. Luke Armstrong. Eli Trimmer.
Here.
Maria Mills. Nick Schultz. Trevor Mule. Tate
Here.
McCoy. Okay.
Here.
Seth Nidell.
Here.
Charles Anderson.
Here.
Clark Thomas.
Here.
Brett Shanks.
Here.
Jonathan Dishman. Mickey Pulliam. Josiah Smerding.
Here.
And Hannah Berry.
Here.
That is all.
Point of, I just want to make sure that Connor Busick was made here. I forgot to press the unmute button when it was his time to say here.
Got it. Thank you so much.
All right, so we'll have the adoption of the minutes. Without objection, those will get adopted. And then we'll have the adoption of the agenda. Without objection, it will get adopted. So we'll go to committee reports by Eli Trimmer, Capital Projects.
Hi, so I've been trying to contact accounting after speaking with Jessica Froge, talking about the idea of putting furniture on Potter Patio. They have all the old receipts from the Kelly Commons purchases. It'd be like the same kind of furniture like that, basically duplicating that on the other side of campus, you know, kind of creating those multiple spaces for students to interact in and things like that. Other than that, moving forward, once I find out the logistics on that, I'll let you guys know the if this will be a reality or not, you know, cost-wise and everything like that. But after that, I don't really have anything. We are also looking at the idea of putting banners on the poles. This is a completely just like student idea. This isn't hasn't been talked to anyone, so I just kind of wanted to bring it up in Senate, see what you guys thought. But there would be different banners for student organizations and things like that that would go on all the light poles around campus, off down Mitchell possibly, and even towards I don't even remember the road off the top of my head, but the one that goes to Farron by the baseball fields and everything like that. So that is a completely new organic idea brought by some students. And we are investigating on the likelihood of the possibility of that. Other than that, I don't have anything else.
Thank you. Are there any questions or maybe even suggestions for Senator Trimmer? All right, seeing none, we'll move on to Brett Shanks with Health and Safety Committee.
Nothing to report this week other than just idea for any volunteering that she might want to do. We could do helping the COVID vaccinations. I know they're looking for really kind of anyone just to help out, to really train for anything. But if she wants to get help with that, get into that and help, I know they're kind of looking for anyone. That's about it, though.
Thank you. Are there any questions for Senator Shanks? All right, we'll move on to Hannah Berry, Student Governor.
I don't really have anything to report this week. It's a little ways away, but our next board meeting is going to be on April 22nd. We've also had, within the last year, we've implemented standing committees, and they're going to be meeting over the next kind of month and a half, as well as one which I'm a part of, which is the Student involvement committee. So if you have any wonderful ideas you want to be talked about, feel free to email me.
All right. Thank you. Are there any questions for Student Governor Berry? All right, we'll move on to Josiah Schmetting, Chief Justice.
Hey everyone, it's the general election time starting this week, so that's pretty exciting. Senators, I know that Dr. Piowski mentioned this earlier, but we do need you guys to sign up if you're planning on being senators again next year. You can do that up until the 30th, and then after that we have to put names on the ballot. So if you haven't done it by that day, you will not be on the ballot. Please sign up and I will email you also to remind you. And also, since the primary is closed off, we can kind of narrow down. We have a presidential or presumptive nominee for the presidential position and the vice presidential position, which would be Nathan Scott and Connor Peters. So congratulations to them.
Okay. Thank you. Are there any questions for Chief Justice Schmetting? All right. And again, like you said, congratulations to Nathan and Connor. This will be very exciting for you all. And senators, really think about if you all would like to continue in your roles for next year. All right. So we'll move on to Sean Peters, Director of Finance.
So the only thing I have to report for this week is I'm still currently with my committee working on the FOC changes in the FOC rental program, and that is it.
Thank you. Are there any questions for Director Peters? All right, we'll move on to Connor Peters, Director of Public Relations and Marketing.
Hey, everybody. So a few things this week, a few quick updates for you. I've been working with Director Armstrong over about the last week or so on finalizing the flyer for his upcoming food drive. We're now kind of in the finishing stages of that process, and we'll get that printed soon. The physical flyers will, of course, be followed up with digital promotions, including on the SGA social media platforms. Tomorrow from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., myself, along with Director Sean Peters, will be handing out Rice Krispies and juice boxes to students passing through the Blum lobby, kind of as a little good luck message leading into midterms. Just a quick pick-me-up treat there. So if you're in Blum around that time, stop by. We'll be next to the dining hall with a table. We'll be handing out some treats. Our original mask vendor suddenly ran out of stock of our desired masks last week, so we had to get creative. And in the interest of time, we located another trusted vendor, and we've arranged for an order of 2-ply masks. The design has not changed, and we're hoping to have these masks not long after we return from spring break. And I'd like to thank Vanessa Holmes and Hannah Piowski for helping to quickly take care of this with some last minute changes. And that is all I have to report.
Thank you. Are there any questions for Director Peters? All right. Dr. Armstrong did send in his report. He just wanted to make sure that you all knew that the food drive will be extended to April 16th. And if you have any questions on that, you can feel free to email him. I'm sure he'll be willing to clarify anything you may have for him. So we'll move on to Connor Busick, as Director of External Relations.
No report.
All right, thank you. Director Bowden has nothing to report either, so I guess that leaves my report. I don't really have too much to report. I don't know if I have anything to report actually, so we're gonna move that right along to the President's report.
Hi there. I'm going to have a somewhat similar answer to several of these other people. I don't have a ton to report. I promise to our great senators that just because we don't really have anything to report doesn't mean that we're not working. We are working hard to accomplish things. Just sometimes you're in the middle of something that you've reported on 4 times or 5 times, and maybe you're close to getting to report, but I don't really have a ton to report this week. But I hope you all are having a great semester, and I wish you all luck on midterms. So, yep, that's all I got to report.
Thank you. Are there any questions for President Scott? All right, we'll move on to open discussion. Is there anything anyone would like to bring up to discuss?
Hi, it's real quick, Hannah Piowski. I realize something, and Nathan may want to chime in on this. I believe we're considering moving Senate back to in person, but I don't want to say that's true. So maybe Nathan can speak to that.
Oh, there we go. I'd actually refer that to our vice president, who it would be the one that would make that final decision there.
Well, it is definitely an option that I think that we could start to consider, seeing as though Missouri Western has done a good job of maintaining cases, and I think it's become easier and a better adjustment to get used to, like the mask, the distancing, things of that nature. It's more so just about the atmosphere, I guess, about whether you all believe that it would be better to kind of have a more, I guess, official type of meetings to where they would be in person. You guys would kind of be able to feel the energy better. It won't be Zoom and all this other stuff. So, I mean, I'm definitely open to any input that you all, either senators or directors, anyone would have on that, as far as like, would being in person be something that you find beneficial or would be interesting in, or things of that nature, respecting the COVID guidelines, honestly. But any opinions on that?
I personally, and of course I'm not a senator, but I think it'd be beneficial. I think we've done a respectable job in keeping cases down, and at least introducing an in-person component, or I suppose reintroducing an in-person component would perhaps increase our interactivity in Senate. And for those who still need to Zoom, that could still be an option. And of course, we'd still be able to live stream Senate to YouTube for anyone else who is not participating in the meeting but still wants to watch. So I think a flexible solution would be to have in-person options as well as Zoom options.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely see it going back to the format that we had kind of at the beginning of last semester, where we were meeting in the conference room, but with Zoom option, of course, we wouldn't have an in-person gallery. It would be whether they were watching either on YouTube, or if we had guest speakers, they would probably be either Zoom or in person, depending on capacity. But yeah. It'll probably be something still to think through, especially after spring break. I think we'll have a better idea of how things are going to look for next year, or maybe our next vice president will be able to have more input on that too. We'll have to see. But are there any other points for open discussion?
I would just, again, as it's already been said today, but urge any current senators who are interested in continuing their role next year to, do what's needed to reapply. And of course, if you have friends who might be interested, let them know, because there's a lot of potential within the role of senator, and there's a lot of tangible work that can be done here that benefits yourselves and your peers and all of us here at Mo West. So I definitely urge you guys to at least consider continuing your roles if you're going to be here next year, and telling anyone who also might be interested.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. We have 20 spots. It's been a while since we actually had a full Senate, so it would be great to get those spots filled. Hopefully, we'll have more input, a whole diverse Senate. I think that'll be great as far as like bouncing ideas off of, just making sure we can cover all of our bases as far as campus representation, advocacy, things of that nature. If there's no more points for open discussion, we can move on to announcements. If there's anything anyone has. As Dr. Piaski mentioned, enter nominations for SOAR Awards. The last day is the 19th, which is this Friday at 5 p.m., I believe. So make sure to get those nominations in. Are there any other announcements or something I'm missing?
I'd also say again, come grab a Rice Krispie treat in the juice box tomorrow in Blum. We'll be handing those out.
Yep. All right. Well, if we have nothing else, I'll be looking for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you all for coming. And we'll see you not next week because next week is spring break. So have a good spring break and see you the week after.